Hey guys, it's ExandShadow, and welcome back to Let's Play Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Last part, well, we did a quiz show, and we investigated the different areas in the I almost said Gun Fortress. X-nauts base. Anyway, in this part, we're going to be doing a little bit more of that, but first, let's go take a break and heal up for a second. Because of how small the I almost called it that again. Because of how small the x-nauts fortress is, it's really easy to backtrack back to the heart block and to the save block really at pretty much any time. So if you're running low on health or if you need to take a break, don't feel like you need to press on through to the end. You can always go back and go to the save block if you need to. I mean, you might forget where you're going, but at least you have the option to. You don't have to like backtrack through a platforming bit or through a puzzle bit in order to get to the save point if you need a break halfway through a dungeon. And that's actually a thing that I like. I know I brought this up before. It's just like this actually feels like some sort of enemy base as opposed to a dungeon that looks like an enemy base. Like when you play a standard RPG, the dungeons that are supposed to be like the castles and the enemy high-tech base always have all of this like platforming, well, and not really platform, but all these puzzle rooms and lots of areas, and it's not structured in any sort of coherent way. You know, this is what I'd expect an enemy base to be designed like. You know, simple, a bunch of floors, a few rooms, some security devices. You know, they don't expect anybody to be barging in here. It's on the fucking moon. But anyway, yeah, now that we have the second elevator key, we can go to sublevels 3 and 4. Sublevel 4 is the floor that Tech and Peach were on. So don't really bother going that way. You'll have to do it eventually, but that's not until after the chapter's actually over, so you can just ignore it for now and you'll pretty much be fine. Just stick to sublevels 1, 2, and 3 for now and you'll be okay. Here we've got the, thankfully, last of these sort of electric tile rooms, and it's a pretty simple, what you gotta do is pretty simple. You just gotta stay on the lit up panels, and then you can, and then you don't get shocked. If you fall off, I'm pretty sure you have to start all the way over, but it's really not that hard. Just don't run. Try to stay in the middle tile if at all possible, you know, just so that you have enough space to keep on moving. It doesn't go too fast, so it's not like you're really trying to keep up with it. You know, it's going at a reasonable pace, and after you get the key, the tiles turn off, so you'll be okay. Also, we got an HP drain there, but that attacking item's pretty worthless, so I don't usually bother. The Super Shroom, on the other hand, well, I'm gonna keep that. Anyway, yeah, I do really think... Sorry, most of the attacking items really aren't too useful. I mean, Thunder Rage and Shooting Stars are pretty good, but, you know, the Sleepy Sheep, the HP Drain, the Earthquake, those really only just serve to fill up inventory spots. I know you can double your inventory by going to floor 50 of the Pit of 100 Trials, but I just think that that's too much effort for just a standard playthrough. And you're gonna need, I mean, it's definitely necessary to get through to the bottom of the Pit of 100 Trials. You're gonna need to get the Strange Sack, go all the way out, fill it with Ultra Jellies, and then come back. But it's just, I think that they should have had a larger inventory spot to begin with, because at this point, any items other than healing items really aren't that useful. But anyway, I'll put the cog in the machine, the cog that we found in that room, and then press the buttons in the order left, right, middle, and then we can play a grabby game. You know these grabby games, you know, they have them in pizza places and stuff, and they never really worked. So you might want to get that Goku doll, but the thing's broken and it won't... never mind. Anyway, you press the A button to move the thing to the left, and then you press the B button to move it up. As long as what you're trying to grab is somewhat in the middle of the little circle of light there, you'll pretty much get it. It's a lot more lenient than a real-life version of these things. But anyway, yeah, there are 2 Feeling Fine badges, one for your partner, one for you, and a star piece, so I'm going to get all of them. The Feeling Fine badge, what it does is it makes you immune to status ailments, which is really useful, so I'm actually going to put that on right now, take off the quick hammer badge, which I never ended up using, and the close-up call badge, which really isn't that useful anymore, and put that on. The thing about the feeling fine badge is that I feel like they put it into the game a little bit too late. Status ailments were really most common in Chapter 5, where you had the enemies that did poison attacks and stuff like that. I mean, we're going to be seeing some enemies that can inflict the burn status in Chapter 8, but I just feel like they should have given you that item a little bit earlier in the game. I'm pretty sure in Paper Mario 1 that was an item you could buy. With star pieces, I mean. And so you could get it as early as you could get it potentially as early as like Chapter 2 or 3, depending on how lucky you were with Chuck Quizmo being around. But it's just, I feel like it's a little bit too late in the game for this badge to really be useful. But I equip it anyway, just because I don't really know what else to do with my badge point slots. I mean, yeah, I know there are tons of really great strategies like Danger Mario and Jumpman Mario and stuff. But I just don't, I feel like, I like to play the game normally. I mean, I don't like restricting myself to one strategy, because when you're doing Jumpman Mario, you're just abusing the jump command, and, there's no real variety. And when you're doing Danger Mario, you approach every situation pretty much the exact same way. I like to keep my whenever I play any game, really, I like to remain versatile. That's, one of my big, things. I like to be a versatile character. So, I'm just not too big on just, sticking to one thing and doing it over and over again. I feel like that would be a really, really boring way to play the game. Which is why I haven't really tried any sort of specialty runs with a Paper Mario game, like an all heart points run or an all badge points run or something like that. I might try a no heart points run where I only upgrade my flower points and badge points, because that would actually, I think, would be fun, because I get to abuse all sorts of badge point moves. But we'll see. Anyway, let's go to sub-level 3, because now we can use the card key and put them all 3 into these things. Thankfully, we only need 3. We need 3 card keys as opposed to 1, and we don't have to do any bullshit about going to the ice level and then the fire level. But yeah, now we're in like the most dungeony room of the dungeon. I mean, you gotta have one, right? And I guess this makes a little bit more sense since it's sort of an engineering/power supply area. I mean, I'm sure this isn't an area that the x-nauts go to all that often, except for the people who work here. So, I understand that this place could be structured more like a typical dungeon, just because, you kind of need one, and it doesn't really mess with the cohesion of the rest of the level at all. Anyway, shooting star. What do I want to get rid of? Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Eventually what I decide is I'm going to use the fried egg to heal myself and then pick up the shooting star again. Thankfully I healed up, so I don't need to use it on Mario, but Leon's got a few hit points lost. I mean, it's better to use the item than to just let it die, right? But anyway, yeah, shooting star. I mean, those are useful, so I'm gonna pick those up when I can, but anyway, hit the switch, you just throw Bobbery over the ledge, and then he'll hit that. Obviously, you gotta turn into your flat paper mode in order to go through those bars. But anyway, after that, you're gonna want to switch to Vivian. Yeah, see, you can't jump over that. So you're gonna want to switch to Vivian, and there you go, you go under the little thing. And now we've got some platforming. Hooray, platforming. Actually, more platforming here than we ever really tend to do in Super Paper Mario, which is kind of odd, seeing as this is the RPG, and Super Paper Mario was pretty much a straight platformer, but whatever. And, ooh, an Ultra Shroom up there. Nice, I'm gonna go grab that. Anyway, yeah, a lot of platforming here in the background. I do like the platforming. I mean, it doesn't control perfect, because, the platforming is the main focus, yeah, I was thinking, should I use... I couldn't use any of them because my characters are all at full, so I'm just gonna end up throwing away a Super Shroom. So yeah, it's just that sort of thing. I wish that you had like 15 or 20 slots as opposed to just 10 to start off with. And look... that shroom bounced pretty high. I gotta wonder what sort of physics engine they're using for this. Anyway, yeah, I just wish that they had more, inventory spots to use to begin with, because I mean, As much as I love this game, items are not that useful. I mean, you'll use your healing items occasionally, but heart blocks are so common that you really don't need to use them all that often. You don't even really need to use the inns that often in this game. I mean, I barely go to the, yes! I was really concerned that I'd fall. But anyway, it's just like, I don't even use the inns in this game very often, and I'd go to the Toad House almost all the time in Paper Mario 1. So it's just that sort of thing where it's just like, healing is so easy with heart blocks, and so much cheaper with heart blocks too, that you can do it all the time, and there's no real consequence to going around with low health. You can make it pretty much anywhere without really any problems. So healing items are really only a backup, or really only something that you need for backups. So I carry a lot with me, but I don't plan on using them very often. But anyway, yeah, we're almost at the end, believe it or not. We're closing into the end of this chapter. Yeah, this is the last room before the boss, so now I gotta go through this platforming mess again because I jumped down to go to the save block. Oh, but yeah, actually you do kind of need to jump down again because you need to get that card key, and then the card key, when you jump down, you go to the save block. So you are going to have to go through this platforming mess twice. Thankfully, it's nothing too complex or anything, so ah, fuck. Curse me and my shitty platforming skills. But yeah, thankfully there's a pipe down here, so you can just go up, come out here, and there you go. Problem solved. Yeah, unfortunately it is sort of, the platforming is sort of slow, but this is an RPG, not a platformer, so, you know. I mean, I like that the platforming's here. It helps make the Mario part of Paper Mario feel a little bit more present. Now, that's another thing that I like about Paper Mario, just in general. It's just, actually compared to Super Mario RPG, Super Mario RPG, while an okay game in its own right, does not feel like a Mario RPG. It feels like a Final Fantasy RPG with Mario characters slapped on. And even then, that's only, like, barely. There really aren't that many Mario characters other than, you know, like Mario, Peach, Bowser, some enemies towards the beginning. Then we get all sorts of weird enemies later on. Anyway, hit that switch. And then those stairs appear. But anyway, I just like how Mario-ish the Paper Mario games feel, as opposed to the Super Mario RPG. But anyway, next part, we're going to be going up against the boss and meeting some old friends. I'm ExandShadow, and I'll see you guys later.